You know, we laugh at Mark Lamont Hill for asking Bill O'Reilly, does he read the Fox News version of the Bible? But he's just given Bill his next idea for a New York Times bestseller. I mean, I hope he knows this. Welcome to Notes from the Pastor's Office. I'm Chris. This week's episode is about comments that Bill O'Reilly made on his show, The O'Reilly Factor, on Monday night, and they surround his upcoming book, Killing Jesus, the third in his series of killing this historic person. The first one was Kennedy, the second one was Lincoln, and now it's Killing Jesus. And these are some of the comments that he had to make about it.
Now, I'm researching Killing Jesus. Do you know why Jesus was killed by the Romans?
I'm going to let you answer that question.
So you don't
I'll get in trouble. No, whatever I say, I'm going to get in trouble with the right-wing outlets. So go ahead.
You've never feared that before. But you don't know, and you shouldn't know, because it was about taxes.
Of course it was about taxes.
And
it was unregulated capitalism. Actually,
it's unbelievable, the correlations between what was happening in Galilee and what the Romans were doing to the Jews back when Jesus was walking around and what's happening now. I'm just going to give you a heads up that this is coming. And the taxation was so onerous on the folks for a totally different reason, I'll concede, that the Romans were venal and they wanted this money to build their temples and to live a crazy lifestyle. But it was philosophically the same kind of government intrusion that we, the people of America, have no right to private property. And that's what Castro does, Chavez does, and that's where these congressional caucus people are headed.
Do you read the Fox News version of the Bible? Come on, man. Jesus turned over tables in the temple. He was worried about profit making, excessive wealth gathering. He was worried about
I'll deal with that, Hill, and you know what?
No,
you're not accurate in what you just said. But I'm not going to give away any more because I want you to read the book. And
I will read the book.
Buy it so that the government can take almost half of all my proceeds from the book.
I, too, have been watching Fox News, one of their talking heads, or whenever they have a theologian or someone on, and thought to myself, are they reading a Fox News translation of the Bible? And what a great line from Dr. Lamont Hill, who quite often finds himself butting heads with Bill O'Reilly on his show. But this episode of Notes is all about how wrong Bill O'Reilly is to say that Jesus was killed over the issue of taxes. Because just a cursory reading of Scripture and a cursory understanding of the traditions surrounding the Passion of Jesus, what we're in the middle of celebrating right now, because it is, of course, Holy Week, but the problem is that Bill O'Reilly is being accepted on the basis of what he is saying in this book, and it's completely a ridiculous thing to do, is to trust Bill O'Reilly when he writes these things, because he has a vested interest in making his writings less informative and more entertainment-driven. So he has a vested interest in spicing up what actually happened. And given the comments that Bill O'Reilly makes on his show, day after day, week after week, year after year, these comments that Bill O'Reilly wants to wrap up the killing of Jesus and the political strife he finds himself enmeshed in every day, he has a vested interest in doing this. And of course, he's going to see those things where they don't exist. But Jesus most definitely was not killed over the issue of taxes. Now, I guarantee you that he's going to come up with some fact, some hidden text, some theologian's translation of the text of the Bible that is going to explain why he's right, why that statement is actually right, when in fact he's making it up and intentionally making it up, because that just doesn't exist. The problem is, if he was just doing it and it was just relegated to his television show, that's fine. But National Geographic, the magazine that most of us grew up with and love, National Geographic, they have a television station. They have a cable channel, and they've produced the first 2 of his books as television specials and have just announced that they're going to make the third book, this Killing Jesus book, into a television show when not only historians, but the historians have panned his other two works, and I'm sure the historians and theologians both are going to pan his upcoming work. I mean, I'm going to do it. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to bring you what I think is wrong with it, just because that's part of what I do here at Notes from the Pastor's Office. But I want to tell you why this statement is specifically wrong, and not necessarily why, but to illustrate a point. This is so easy. A Christian tradition will tell us that Jesus was killed not because of his stance on taxes, but because he was a threat to Roman and Jewish leadership of the time. And of course, there's the prophecy element to it, and of course that's valid to bring into a discussion when you talk about faith. But he was killed for that reason. That's what Christian tradition tells us. And then I just went through and found 3 real quick scripture references. I'm not big into trying to find scripture to mold and fit my idea of what reality should be. But this is just an exercise in, even if you're not a Christian, just a cursory understanding of scripture, or going through the Bible just for the first time. You can see these things and understand why Bill O'Reilly is so wrong to have said this. Mark 12:17 is Jesus' famous give to Caesar what is Caesar's line. Jesus, while maybe not encouraging paying taxes, most certainly was encouraging you to spend time fighting other things and not necessarily the paying of taxes. Pilate, of course, who was a Roman, wanted to free Jesus. He gave the crowd a choice, Jesus or Barabbas. That's John 18:40. And then, of course, Pilate found him innocent. There's that famous line, John 19:6, I find no fault with him. So, that's 3 real quick scripture references that give you an idea of just how wrong Bill O'Reilly is. Let's see if he takes time on his show either tonight, which would be Tuesday, or in any time when he is confronted with this information. Let's see if he takes time to correct the record. I'm guessing he won't, but I'm a Christian. I believe in redemption, and I think that I'm going to give him at least the chance to confirm or deny this sort of stuff. That's the show for today. As always, you can find me on Twitter at ICanHasGospel, gospel spelled with a Z. Find me on Facebook and visit me on my blog, notesfromthepastorsoffice.com. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.